In his days, Nebuchadnezzar went up. Jehoiachin was his vassal for 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him, and the Lord decided against him. Bands of Chaldeans and bands of Arameans and bands of Moabites and bands of the children of Ammon. He incited them against Judah to destroy it. According to the word of the Lord, which he had spoken through his servants the prophets, indeed, it was by the order of the Lord against Judah to remove them from before him, because of the sins of Manasseh, according to all that he had done, and also because of the innocent blood that he had shed, and he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood. And the Lord did not want to forgive. The rest of the events of Jehoiakim and all that he did are written in the book of the Chronicles of the king of Judah. Jehoiakim slept with his forefathers, and Jehoiakim's his son reigned in his stead. Jehoiachin, his son, reigned in his stead. The king of Egypt no longer went out of the land, for the king of Babylonia had taken from the river of Egypt until the Euphrates River all that belonged to the king of Egypt. Jehoiachin was 18 years old when he became king, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Nehushta, the daughter of Elnathan of Jerusalem. He did what was evil in the eyes of the Lord, like all that his father had done. At that time the servants of Nebuchadnezzar went up against Jerusalem, and the city was brought under siege, and Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylonia came to the city, and his servants were besieging it. Jehoiachin the king of Judah came out to the king of Babylonia, he and his mother and his servants and his officers and his mighty warriors, and the king of Babylonia took him in the 8th year of his reign. He removed from there all the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's palace. He stripped off all the golden decorations that Solomon king of Israel had made in the temple of the Lord, as the Lord had spoken. And he exiled all Jerusalem and all the officers and all the mighty warriors, 10,000 exiles, and all the craftsmen and the sentries of the gates. No one remained except the poorest of the people of the land. He exiled Jehoiachin to Babylon, and the king's mother, and the king's wives, and his officers, and the dignitaries of the land he led in exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. All the military men, 7,000, and the craftsmen and the gate sentries, 1,000 almighty warriors, and the king of Babylonia brought them into exile to Babylon. The king of Babylonia crowned Mattaniah his uncle in his stead, and changed his name to Zedekiah. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he became king, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah from Libnah. He did what was evil in the eyes of the Lord, like all that Jehoiakim had done, because of the wrath of the Lord was against Jerusalem and against Judah, until he cast them away from before his presence. Zedekiah rebelled against the king of Babylonia.